There's our jack. Does not look that great. I know. It's very scary to jack up something this big. I'm hearing a lot of noises. It's always something. Every time it's something.
We're a family of 5 who recently sold almost everything that we own to buy a truck and a 5th-wheel camper to roam around the U.S. creating memories as a family. Like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can follow along on our journey.
So this week, it is go time. By the time you're seeing this video, we are already going on our trip up the East Coast. Continue to leave the comments. Super impressed with everybody. A lot of comments in the last couple of videos, but this week we are getting everything ready. So of course, before we head out, we want to get the tires ready, the camper ready, and so you're gonna see a lot of maintenance in this video. Look at this. Got my Crocs on, and some of you are probably thinking you're not supposed to wear socks with them. And I would argue you're not supposed to wear Crocs. Okay, so let me embrace them at my own pace. Okay.
So first, Clint got on the roof and he removed the shroud from the AC in the front, and he cleaned around that, and he cleaned the condenser coils on that unit. The evaporator coils were pretty clean, so he just left those alone this time. And we've recently cleaned the other AC, so we didn't do that one this time.
So according to the directions, you don't even have to clean this off. You could just let it sit, or you could use water. We use this, but you got to be really gentle. So if it's something really nasty stuck on there, we'll use this. But see those? But even those, you know, they're stiff and they'll damage these coils. So just be careful, folks. So what I did was I wiped it off. After letting it sit for a bit, I wiped it off. Then, if I noticed any caked on dirt, I used this. You can see it's a little dirtier than it was, to get that off. And then now, we just let it sit. So you can see, I mean, it is a beautiful day. And so what are we gonna do? We're gonna clean this camper. Alright, so we're getting up there. Bought a brand new nozzle. No clue if it's good, but it's super heavy, which makes me think it's good. 1 to 20 ratio. That's going to be the soap that we use on the roof.
Let's remind everybody that we are not professionals. As you'll see from this video, we have done some research, and this is what we have found to do through our research. But make sure to look into it yourself. Hire somebody to do it if that's what you're more comfortable with. But these are the things that we did.
Not too bad. Look how dirty that water is there. So it obviously did something. So now we're getting everything set up so that we can close the slides. And we're going to spray T9 on all the slide rails so that when we close them, it kind of lubricates all of it. Then we're going to grease our bearings on the wheels.
We're just going to use the Easy Lube system. We have Dexter Easy Lube axles. So I think that's the right way to say it. So we are just going to use the Easy Lube Zerk fitting that should be under here, and we're gonna grease the bearings that way. While we have it jacked up, since it's going to be up anyways, we're also going to check the trailer brakes. Checking all the slides, we're gonna do the seals, lubricate the seals, put some 303 aerospace protectant on them, and lubricate all of the mechanisms underneath the slides.
So now, before we pull the slides in, we're going to spray T9 on all of the teeth under here, so that in the mechanism, that way they stay lubricated. I was going to do it yesterday, but apparently, obviously, I guess you've got to actually have it go in and out, or it's not going to obviously lube everything in there. So that's another thing we're doing. Oh, we sprayed it mainly on the rail, but also in there, but then coated the whole rail and just wiped it. Same thing on the other side. That way everything's lubricated. Then as we pull it in, this part will flap in, and then we'll clean this nasty looking inside and then clean the outside also. That way, hopefully, since we're going to be gone for a long trip, hopefully none of this type of stuff will give us any issues. So, we got the slide in, and really what we're trying to clean is this section right here. So this, we cleaned when we're outside. This is where the seal stops. So that's what we're cleaning right now. And then Sarah is lubricating the black seal parts. So, yep. What?
We need our blocks to lift this up, and I don't even know if they're going to be enough.
So this is how it always goes. We always have a plan, and it's never enough. How high does this thing go?
17 inches.
So it won't even, max height won't even touch the frame.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I knew that it needed to be on some, but I'm hoping that the ones that we have is enough.
How much do you know? How would you know if it's enough? Just to catch everybody up. This thing jacks up to 17 inches, which is not even enough from the ground to get it to touch the frame. So that's the problem we're having. So we've got blocks and other blocks. Hopefully we don't have to use those, but those, hopefully that will help us to jack it up enough. But also, we have no idea where to put the jack. So, which that's pretty typical for us, not to know how to do something. So, and when I say us, I mean Sarah.
He's such a comedian, isn't he? I knew that we were going to need the blocks.
We're not even close, girl.
But I did not think that we were going to need the orange length leveler things that we have. I just didn't know. Clint is not very interested in the details before we get started on anything, so I just don't tell him until we get started. It took him a few tries, but he eventually had enough of everything in there to get it lifted up. I did look up where to put the jack, and most people said to just put it on the frame close to the suspension, so that's what we did.
There's our jack. Does not look that great. I know. There's our thing. What's it called?
It's a Zerk.
It's a Zerk.
That little fitting is a Zerk.
That's a Zerk. It's a Dexter Easy Lube.
Yeah. This is the cap for that goes on here that covers up the grease and everything so that it doesn't get nasty inside of there. This was in the cap, was in part of this. We just pulled it out with the 5-in-1, so that covered it. Now that covered it. We're gonna hook up our grease gun and we're gonna slowly turn the wheel and do some pumps of grease and fill everything up. And I bought plenty of grease because I don't know if these have been done before. I do see a lot, so hopefully it's good and someone else has maintained it, the person before us. But if not, I bought plenty of grease because it apparently takes a lot if it's never been done before. So we'll see. This was one of the greases. I searched Dexter Easy Lube axle grease or wheel bearing grease on Google, and this is one of the recommended greases. I know nothing about it, but it was on the list and it was at Tractor Supply.
Just so you can see, I don't know if you can tell, see our things off the ground. We had to jack it up pretty high so that both wheels would spin. Otherwise we would have to do each wheel individually, undo it, then jack up another spot, and that may be the smart thing. I don't know. If you've done this, let us know. Is this completely unsafe? Or are we all right?
Oh, okay.
So it snaps on.
It clicks.
It clicks.
So what we're waiting for, eventually once it's full, grease will start to come back out through the front. And we just slowly spin the wheel around, apparently so that it gets like full everywhere. You know, like it's evenly distributed. Inside of there, that grease, that was not there before. So that's where we were pumping it in. And then once you get it full, it starts to come back out. And that grease is not too bad looking. It doesn't look all black and, you know, used up. So that's a good sign that maybe the previous owners did do it, or, you know, it hadn't been driven very much, maybe even. So good stuff, but I'm not sure that all that extra is supposed to be in there. I know if you get too much in there and you're driving, you know, it'll sling around and it can even like gum up your brakes. So I'm going to try to clean a little bit of that out of there. This, see, it's a little black in there and there's some new mixed in with it. I don't know what was just already in there and what has been pushed out. So we're going to clean it out and then hook it back up to make sure that the fresh grease is what's coming through now. One of the other things that you're apparently wanting to check is, does the wheel spin freely? And then, is there any play in it? Like if you go back and forth, there's no play. And we're going to check the brakes. We found a little friend checking the brakes, but we apparently forgot to record the process. So Clint got into the truck and pressed the brake controller. I spun the wheel to make sure that the brakes were grabbing, and they were on all 4 wheels. We also did the bearings on the other side of the camper, but we didn't really have a good place to sit or record over there. So we got that done and everything was taken care of. Lucas and I also installed some vinyl with our handle for all of our social media accounts. So if you see us on the road, make sure to give us a honk. Besides all of the maintenance, we spent our last weekend at home visiting all of our family. The kids were dying to see their cousins before we left, so we made time to go to the trampoline park. Most of my videos are of Theo because I had to watch him like a hawk, but they had a blast and I'm really glad we got to do it before we left.
Today's the day. It's leaving day. We're just about packed up. Just got to hitch it up, close the slots, and then we're off to North Alabama, and then Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, all the way up to Maine. So let us know where we should go.